Guys, come and draw with me a Macintosh apple using my Pentel Oil Pastels. I'm using the color Scarlet, the lemon yellow, yellow green, white, purple, and red. I am using a reference, but it's not going to be an exact replica of that apple. I start off drawing the shape. I'm using the color Scarlet for this, and I'm just drawing in slightly the parts of the apple that I want to be red, because I'm going to be using that yellow and that yellow green to fill in the spots that are that color in the actual apple. So I'm not really coloring in fully. I'm just marking where these spots are going to be and what parts of the apples are going to be red and green, etc. Then I start to add in that yellow. I start to add in that green. And when I start to add these colors, I also start to blend them together. I am trying to replicate that color that is on the apple, which is like a yellowy green. And since I don't have the specific color, then I have to make that color myself. So here I am blending those two colors. Then I come in with Scarlet again, and I really start to saturate the apple, the quote-unquote apple shape with that color, because now I'm starting to blend in all the colors. I really like the Pentel Oil Pastels because they're not too creamy. They're creamy enough where you can blend, and they're not too hard either. So they're, for me right now, they're the perfect texture. So I start to blend all the colors. Here it got a little muddy, but I fix it at the end. So yeah, I start to come in with that yellow and really start to blend in that yellow with that green. I really thought I was doing something by putting in that other red color, but it was too similar to the Scarlet. However, I added it anyway because it started to give a little bit more of that dimension. Then I drew the stem here, and then I brought in the white to start putting some highlights in, to start giving it a little bit more dimension. I started to come in with yellow again to kind of lighten that side of the apple, and then I came in with that purple. Now the purple is going to bring in some of that shadow that I need, and I chose a like warm purple. I didn't want it to be too much of a cool purple, because then I was afraid that it was going to get like a bit too muddy. So I started to draw in the actual shadows for the apple. I came back with the white and I added a bit more highlight. And the apple has some specks, so I started to add a little bit of specks with that white and a bit of that yellow too. I didn't want it to be too bright, so I started to also blend it in. I didn't want it to be just like white freckles. I want it to be kind of faint. Try to fix a bit of that muddiness and try to warm up the apple a little bit more. So I went over with the yellow again. About it, I started to add a little bit more detail. I accentuated that highlight a bit more with the white, and that's it, y'all. It doesn't look exactly the same, which I'm totally fine with. I just needed to know where the shadows should go and where the highlights should go, and that's my apple. I hope that you guys do it yourself, and if you do, please tag me so I can see. Bye.